Hello, I'm Darren Magee, and today's topic comes from a question asking, what happens when a malignant narcissist loses control? Maybe their lies, schemes, and abusive behaviour has caught up with them, people are onto them, someone is dumping them, or they're about to be fired, or maybe they've been caught doing something illegal and are now facing the consequences of their actions. Well, first of all, a malignant narcissist is not just someone who is self-absorbed, selfish, and disagreeable. A malignant narcissist can be one of the most volatile and dangerous people you could ever meet. It is someone on the Dark Tetrad, which is a combination of 4 personality traits which includes narcissism. And this is characterized by being highly disagreeable. There's a huge sense of entitlement, being highly resistant to anything that could be considered to be criticism, and having a lack of empathy for others. They harbour fantasies of power, success, brilliance, and superiority. But there's also psychopathy, which is characterized by persistent antisocial behavior. They have disinhibited egotistical traits. They often appear as charming, but are skilled at deceit. They also lack remorse, and they tend to live parasitical lifestyles. Then there is sadism, which is characterized by taking pleasure in the pain and misery of others, either inflicting it or just enjoying watching it. And lastly, there's Machiavellianism, which is being manipulative and duplicitous. No matter what they do, the end justifies the means, and to hell with the casualties. And when these traits combine, you get individuals who are not only grandiose and lacking in empathy, but they're also cruel, manipulative, and ruthless in their pursuit of power and domination. So to understand how and why malignant narcissists react the way they do whenever they feel they're losing control, I think it's important to recognize how they gain control in the first place. They are master manipulators. They create personas that project success, confidence, superiority, kindness, whatever it is they need to be in order to get what they want. In their personal relationships, they can be charming and charismatic. They have no issue telling whatever lies they think they have to, just to beguile their victims. But once they have someone, they can be cruel, callous, and enjoy seeing their partners suffer. In groups, organizations, workplaces, they can be relentless in their pursuit of power. They create a cult-like them and us mentality to keep their supporters on board and to make sure they don't listen to whoever they consider to be opposition. They destroy reputations, sometimes even careers, in order to achieve their goals. However, their world, their facade, is often precarious. It's based on falsehood and deceit. And whenever the cracks begin to show, that's when the unraveling process starts. So what happens when people are onto them, whenever they fear being exposed, whenever they could lose their position, status, their partner, whatever? Well, the first thing is, like all narcissistic people, they'll deny any wrongdoing, maybe even feign confusion. They might try to reason with whoever is challenging them. What's the actual issue here? Can we not just resolve this? But any resolutions or agreements they come to, they have no intention of keeping. If it's a personal relationship, we would often see the charm that was there in the early stages being turned on again. They can pretend they're being reasonable and open to listening, but quite often they really have a very different agenda. But regardless of the situation, they pretend they're being reasonable, open to listening, but quite often they have a very different agenda. They could well be trying to find out what information someone has on them, who else knows, so they can figure out what to do, what to say, and who to target. However, the false charm becomes strained because that facade is hard to maintain, especially whenever someone is standing up to them, pointing out all of their wrongdoing. Secondly, if they haven't already created a conspiracy theory of people being out to get them, they'll create one very quickly. One of the ways malignant narcissists get hold of and hold on to power over others is by creating a them and us culture. Now, this is very common in cults, but also in organizations, families, pretty much any group that is dominated by dark personality types. It also happens in their personal relationships, and this is one of the reasons why they tend to isolate their victims from their friends and family. They'll claim their partner has been listening to people they shouldn't be listening to, people who hate them and want to break them up. And when they are caught out, it reinforces the conspiracy that they've created. Others are out to get them, to take away what's theirs. They would claim conspiracy theories rather than admitting any fault, guilt, or wrongdoing. And like all narcissists, they can claim victimhood while telling lies about their accuser's character, or portray themselves as a hero trying to protect everyone else from the flak, or claiming that whatever it is they're doing, they have to do for the greater good. Thirdly, everything about them is false. They thrive on deceit. So typically, what they do when faced with accusation about lying is to tell more lies. Even when faced with undeniable evidence of their guilt, they'll remain in denial. They will tell lies to cover up for previous lies, which were probably to cover up for lies in the first place. Malignant narcissists rely heavily on their ability to manipulate and control others, and can be highly skilled at gaslighting. In their attempts to regain control, they can double down on their manipulation, trying to confuse and disorient those around them. If they were caught in bed with someone else, well, they weren't cheating, they were just having a nap. And if that doesn't work, then the cheating was the partner's fault. They drove them into the arms of someone else. If caught with missing money in their bank account, well, it came from a rich relative who passed away recently. Where the missing money went is anyone's guess. Fourthly, malignant narcissists might engage in illegal or unethical activities, yet if they fear they're about to be exposed, well, they might actually threaten legal action or use whatever rules are available to them to silence their accusers. An example could be, if someone was caught bullying at work, well, they go straight to HR, claiming that they are being bullied by the person who reported them. Or if they fear being exposed for their actions, well, they might have letters sent from lawyers and solicitors to those who are reporting them, warning them against slander. When seeking support from lawyers, HR, even their partner's family or friends, they portray themselves as being persecuted, misunderstood, or being unfairly targeted. And it can also be a way of gaining sympathy from others and to tarnish the names of those who accuse or can discredit them. Number 5, they can become outraged. How dare anyone challenge them, try to take away what is theirs, or try to leave? Whenever their sense of superiority and control is threatened, malignant narcissists can become explosively angry. And this rage is often disproportionate to whatever's going on, and it never takes into account their own responsibility. And the anger is aimed at anyone they perceive as responsible for their downfall, even anyone associated with whoever is responsible. They can even turn on those closest to them, their supporters, friends, family members, accuse them of being part of the plot against them. Everyone is against them, even those who have nothing to do with the situation. When they become desperate and are accusing everybody, we can see an increase in their aggression, their malice, and vindictiveness. And here we see both their paranoia and their sadism. Everyone is out to get them, and no amount of reassurance can pacify them. In some cases, they can become even more dangerous, escalating their antisocial behaviour in a desperate attempt to reassert control. And this can even include violent acts. But the more desperate they feel, the more their crazy behaviour escalates. Number 6, the stress and pressure of maintaining their public facade, combined with the fear of being exposed, can lead to a psychological breakdown. Now, some symptoms could include anxiety, depression, paranoia, in some cases even psychosis. And this can lead to self-destructive behaviour, which could include heavy drinking, substance abuse, reckless decisions, sometimes even suicidal tendencies, as they struggle to cope with their shattered self-image and whatever potential consequences they could be facing. And in their self-inflicted misery, they can even blame others for doing this to them, for traumatizing them. They are being mistreated for having to face the consequences of their actions. Next, malignant narcissists can have poor impulse control. They are also callous and often act without conscience. So in extreme cases, whatever it is they face losing, be it their partner, family, position, status, they might just try to wreck everything. If they can't have it, no one else will. It's like a scorched earth policy. If they lose their job through misconduct, they might try to attack the organisation. And if they can't do it through the legal process, they might just try to ruin the organisation's reputation. If it's an ex-partner, they'll waste every penny they can in the court system rather than agree to a fair settlement for both parties. They may even threaten their ex-partner they'll come after them or attack any new partners they might meet. They can engage in stalking behaviours not only to keep tabs on the ex-partner, but also to make them feel unsafe. Narcissists have a long memory when it comes to being emotionally wounded, and malignant narcissists can be scathing and relentless, always waiting for an opportunity, even if it takes years. And whatever schemes they plot, no matter what action they take, they believe they have what's known as moral immunity, because they were the ones who were hurt. Number 8. As their true nature becomes apparent, friends, family, colleagues may distance themselves, leaving them isolated. They run out of people to coerce, threaten, manipulate, and use for their own benefit. So for a time they might become reclusive, feeling paranoid, fearing everyone knows about them, everyone's out to get them. But due to their parasitical nature, sooner or later they try to find new people, a new partner, or a new group of supporters. New people to manipulate. And lastly, if faced with the consequences of their actions, there are some narcissists, even malignant ones, who might just run away and hide. Yeah, they're scheming and cruel, but they're also cowardly. They've been good at getting others to do their dirty work for them, but they're really just spineless sadists. They surround themselves with people to hide behind, but once those people turn on them as well, as inevitably they do at some point, well, off they go. Go and hide under a pile of coats until the danger passes. But eventually, they'll ingratiate themselves into another group, find a new partner or a new job, and they start all over again, while trying to avoid those who knew them previously. So in summary, a malignant narcissist may have been abusive in a relationship, running an organization into the ground, or were caught breaking the law, but they will remain in denial. Losing a job, partner, social status, or influence can be devastating for them, even though it was of their own doing, and they will still claim their innocence. Those who caught them, dumped them, prosecuted them, were out to get them. Anything they ever did was for the greater good. Others just didn't see the bigger picture. They didn't see their sacrifice, their greatness, and they took away what was theirs by right. It never has anything to do with their lies, scheming, threats, or anything illegal they may have been up to. And when their carefully constructed world falls apart, their responses can be dramatic and destructive. Their inability to cope with the loss of control and the exposure of their true nature can lead to a downward spiral of bitterness and resentment, and they can feel justified in any acts of vengeance. They were the one who was wronged. So that's a brief outline of how malignant narcissists react whenever they begin to lose control of something or someone. I hope you find this topic to be interesting, and if you did, please consider subscribing. But if there's anything I've missed, anything you'd like to add, please use the comment section. There are some interesting conversations start from these videos. So until next time, thanks for watching.